Okay, this is Josh Cranlin, your digital learning coach, and I wanted to take you through just a couple of ideas of how you could use some Google products in your classroom. Okay, this first idea is we call the parking lot, and here you can make a Google document shareable to everyone in a class. Okay, I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But while it's shared, every student can ask questions. So they'll all show up in the top right corner over here, and they'll probably be like letters and things like that, and they're different colors, and they can all type on the screen at the same time. So you'll get all kinds of questions. If you just open up this document wide, you're going to get all kinds of crazy questions. We tried this with our staff, and we got all kinds of crazy questions. But it can be a great way to kind of organize all the questions to make sure you're hitting all the points that you need to during class. So how do we make this shareable? Okay. Well, if you look in the top right corner, we have this share button, and it's locked. So if I hover over it with my mouse, it says private only to me. If I click on it, it opens up this sharing dialog. And then it has this invite people. And I can type people's names in here. And we can make a list of everyone that's in our class and paste it in here. Well, there's another question again. How do we get a list of the people who are in my class? Also in the presentation that Patrick and I did, we had this great tool. We set up a Google form beforehand. And in that Google form, we had some questions. You had, what's your name? What's your email address? What's your favorite number? And we made it so that when we sent it, when the kids took this, they had to fill these out. And so you all gave us information. In the computer lab where we were at, we had Synchronize. And we could use Synchronize and copy this link right up here, this google.com/a/blah, blah, 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 blah. And we could send it to everyone in the class. Now sometimes this is impossible, so you can set up maybe a couple of computers, or kids can do this from their phone, and they could fill this information out during class. So that's one way to do it. Now when everyone finishes doing this form, you'll get this thing called responses. And this is all automatically made inside of Google Drive. So this is the QComp survey that Patrick made, and here's the automatic responses area. This is a kind of an Excel spreadsheet type document that has all the responses. And you see that we have a timestamp and date stamp for every person that was in here, email addresses, favorite numbers, everything. But here's the cool part. I can go through this list and I can copy it. I can click on the top one, scroll down, and hold Shift on the keyboard and click on the last one. And I've selected everything in between. I could either right click and copy, or I can do Control C on the keyboard to copy this list. When I go back over to my parking lot or anything I want to share with that whole classroom, I can click on Share, and I can paste that list of people into this Invite People area. There's another thing we can do inside of Google Drive. So let's say we want to save that class for later. Well, you can go to your 9 boxes here and go to Contacts. And you can save that list of people as a contact list. So I'm going to go to New Contact. I'm going to do one of these group things. I'm going to create a new one. Maybe we'll call this Hour 2 Spanish. Click OK. And now when I click on Hour 2 Spanish, I have this people plus sign here. And I can paste that list from before of all those names and emails that I got from this Google form. Now it probably still brings up a couple of questions like, well, how do I make a Google form? That's a great question. I'm going to delete this contact list because I do not want to make that. Alright, and I'm going to go back to Google Drive. And inside of Google Drive, I'll go to Create, and I go to Form. Yep, create in a shared folder, so that means it's automatically going to be shared because it's in this folder. I get to pick a theme, birthday cats, that's festive. And we can require a login, that's probably a good idea. Automatically collect the usernames, that's not a bad idea usually. And show progress bar at the bottom, sure. And then I have different kinds of questions, and these are the kinds of choices. So they can give me a text response, a paragraph response, multiple choice, so they can only choose one of the number of boxes. Check boxes, so they can have multiple choices, they can choose multiple items. Choose from a list, so you'll have a list of things, and they can choose one of those things. You can have a scale, so on a 1 to 5 scale, how much do you like this training? Grid, this is kind of a neat option. You can use this for like if you wanted to put a rubric in here. And so you have rows and columns, and you can put the different items of the rubric. Date and time. And so you create this Google form. What we did is we did text, and we had email, and then you submitted your email, and then we used that for our list. So these are a few tools that you can use together to create a list of all your students for a class, a way to gather all those names using forms, and a document that they can all share together and write their questions on. Now there's lots of different products that you can try this with, but this is just one idea. Thank you for listening.